Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. Today is May 7th, 2014. Today is Wednesday. This is Razak at CMTrading. And it's looking like the markets are picking up. Some significant moves yesterday in the Euro USD and some of the other currencies. We'll discuss it. But just going into today's lineup in the economic calendar, we have FOMC member Janet Yellen is speaking today at 5 o'clock South African time. And then overnight at 4:30 tomorrow morning, you have the Aussie USD. These are major movements in the market, especially when Yellen speaks. Everybody's looking for some sort of direction based on her speech as to which way the market's going to turn. So as a result, in light of the fact that she's going to be speaking tomorrow, the markets have been moving, and the U.S. dollar has really been getting much weaker against most of the major pairs, against the euro, against the GBP, against the Japanese yen, and we've seen it take a little bit of a hit. So let's go in the Euro USD. The Euro USD above 139. If you remember, this has really been challenged a few times on the upper side. We've tried. Last week I actually mentioned this, that we made this higher low right over here. And as we're making these higher lows closer to the top, it looks like it wants to break out. We hit this, if you remember, a couple of months ago in March. Now we're just about challenging again on the upper side. These are all-time highs for the euro, so it should be interesting the way this unfolds today based on our conversation. Of course, in this type of situation, we could either go down and retrace because we're at resistance over here, or we could break out. Okay, so definitely a good opportunity to be in front of your screen, try to anticipate which way it's going to go. But one thing is for sure, you should expect some considerable amount of volatility in the market today, especially when she's speaking. It's hard to say which way the market's going to go. Again, because it has been so aggressive on the upside. Every time we've taken down the euro, it seems to have been just resilient and coming right back. We had discussed this last week, and then this tear yesterday on the upside, which is about almost 123 pips on the upside. So the Euro USD has really woken up again and really looking like it's going to either continue going up higher or perhaps going to retrace a little bit. Okay, so keep the Euro USD definitely on your radar, especially before Chairman Yellen speaks at 5 o'clock later today. Okay, moving to the GBP USD, actually the highest tear. We're looking at a weekly chart. If you remember, we had discussed these levels. We had hit these upper levels over here. And last week we just saw it continuously going up, just a little bit, and look at where we are today. So if we look at a longer time frame, we're actually breaking just shy of 1.7. This is all-time highs, and we haven't been at these levels since 2008. So it could look as a combination of the weakness of the dollar, the fiscal alertness, and the fiscal responsibility of the GBP, that the GBP is once again reviving itself and maintaining its strength. So on a smaller time frame, let's look for retracements, some sort of support in order to buy the pullbacks. And as you can see, this has basically been the last week. If we look at just the last week, every time it pulled back, it just took on a tear. And I kept on mentioning this last week, and it's making a higher high. So every time, it pulls back, look to jump into it. There's nothing stopping it outside of 170. And you could see here, there's practically no resistance. Maybe 170 might be a resistance level just because it's a round-up number. But prior to that, there's really, very little that we can say as a resistance, maybe 170 and a half, which dates back to 1997. Okay, so these are major moves for this currency, I think, and maybe around 171, 170 between 171 and a half, and let's say between 171 might be also anticipated because there was this support back in 2005. And this is multi-year support, okay? This goes back decades, almost 20 years. So this is major news. Okay, moving into the USD Japanese yen, also really gotten very weaker. Okay, we're at the bottom of the range here. Okay, remember we've been trading between this 101 and 104, and now we find ourselves at the bottom of the range with the dollar getting much weaker. So, you know, it's interesting how we correlate these major thresholds as there's major economic events, especially with, again, Janet Yellen speaking today. There's you know, it just leads you to believe that there's someone, you know, anticipating certain movements in the markets. Looking at gold, gold retraced a little bit yesterday, and then, you know, continuously going up. So nice move up from the 1306 level, okay, challenged earlier in the week. If we look at a 30-minute chart, okay, we took the tear obviously from 1280, 1282 rather, and then, you know, going up to 1314 just the other day, and now we're just kind of like taking a breather here at 1311, which is a considerable move up. You know, I would say the next major resistance is 1330. So we could, again, continuously go up depending on how the markets do, depending on how the financial markets, specific indices. So if you remember, this is a beautiful case in point where the Dow kept on challenging its upper limits. This is the Dow, which is the major index in the United States, and now it's retraced in somewhat of a support level, making this, you know, makeshift channel. Okay, it's not a perfect chart, but it's close enough to showing that it has a certain element of sideways range trading. Okay, a lot of resistance at these upper levels at 16,585-ish area, and we saw every time it tried to challenge it, it's always retraced. The downside, I think, is nominal. Okay, so I anticipate we'll continue trading in this range as long as, like I said, Fed Chairman Yellen doesn't come out with really shocking news and depressing news about the markets. So continuously keep the Dow and the gold correlated to each other, see how one is trading against the other in order to maximize profits. This is Razak at CMTrading. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.